to all my viewers out there, especially my subscribers and all those that have become a Platinum GOAT, I am truly blown away. You all are the best. Now, guys, we have the two-time New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year and current Arizona State quarterback Cameron Dyer on the phone. Welcome to the channel, Cameron.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Man, it is an honor for us, and I know the viewers will be super pumped to hear from you, man. Cameron and I actually come from high schools in the same state, the great state of New Mexico. And that's right, yeah. And just for you guys out there, New Mexico is a state. It's not a country. It is a state in the United States, because I've been asked that before, and I believe Cam has too, right?
Yep, exactly. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have paved roads. We have all kinds of, like, the regular stuff that every other state has. So we are in good shape in New Mexico, so don't worry about us. But we come from kind of similar high schools that are used to winning football games. He comes from La Cueva High School. I come from Artesia High School. And I believe, if I remember right, 34 to 35 football state championships between the two schools. So when you talk about winning, like Cam, like grew up, like understanding like how to win and learning how to win, as did I, going through the Artesia football program. And both schools have produced some very good athletes, some solid and even great college performers, but a lot of them are probably a little bit older than you guys. But one I can remember for sure is Landry Jones, who played at Oklahoma. He came in for an injured Sam Bradford when he got hurt as a true freshman, and ended up starting all 4 years for Oklahoma and lit up the record books. So, but the guy we have on the phone, Mr. Cameron Dyer, is truly special. And I have a two-part question for you, if that's cool with you, man.
Yeah, no, of course.
Please tell us, if you would, about your upbringing, mainly your high school years. And I already know the answer to the following question, but for our viewers, what sports did you play and how did you do in each one?
Yeah, man. So, growing up, I was blessed enough to come from a family of just athletes. It started with my parents. They both met in college. My dad was playing football. My mom was playing softball down in New Mexico State in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So, that's where my parents met. And then Dad, my older brother, he went to New Mexico State. He played football. He's currently playing for Western New Mexico as a D tackle. I try to stay away from him. I try not to let him get to me because, obviously we're on two opposite sides of the ball. And, his job is to stop me. My job is to score on him. So,
absolutely, yeah.
But, we're really close. It's all just jokes. But, and then after that, my parents had me. And then a little sister, she's currently committed to Pacific University up in Stockton, California. So,
sure.
I just come from a family of athletes, and really just growing up, our parents really instilled that athletic mindset, and always being active, and really just started from there. And once I got to La Cueva, having the coaches that I had, Coach Pack, I was just very blessed that they put me in a situation to really just succeed. I wasn't given the keys to the castle. Early I wasn't, a starter as a freshman or even a sophomore. So I had to really earn it, my junior and senior year. And, that's just what I focus on just leading my team to win. And I was just blessed to do that. And I also played basketball and track in high school, and growing up, baseball, soccer, played all the sports. But
Yeah.
I was a three-sport athlete in high school and just played football, basketball, and ran track. So it was just year round. You know what I mean? Just staying busy and staying active, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So I'm very thankful, very blessed for sure.
That's awesome, man. Now, did you play basketball and run track your senior year?
Yeah, so since I graduated high school early, I couldn't play basketball and run track.
Okay.
That kind of sucked, yeah, because I grew up doing those sports, and I have my own love for them, so that kind of hurt, having to move on from that. But it's for all the right reasons, and I'm thankful for the way it happened. But yeah, my junior year was my last year doing all three sports.
Okay, so let me share this with the viewers out there. So, okay, he wasn't a senior as a junior, and football was his focus. But as a junior, if I have this correct, he averaged about 11 points a game, over 6 rebounds, about 6.5 assists, and close to 2 steals. Now, to me, that is the definition of unselfishness right there, because when you have over 6.5 assists in a high school game, plus you put up double-digit points, that's pretty amazing. It would have been fun to see you your senior year, and then if this is correct, you finished third in the state long jump finals as a junior. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there again, your senior year, if you would have been able to compete, there's no telling, what you could have done. Now, did you run 100 or something like that? Because I thought I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, I wasn't really a 100 really type of guy.
Okay.
I'm more of a lanky athlete, so
I got you.
It was hard for me to get up the blocks and get to my top speed very fast. But I ran the 200 and the 400. My time in the 200 was around a 22 flat, and then my time in the 400 was just under 50. So I ran about a high 49.
So for pretty much everybody that is here right now, you've seen the promo for this video. So just understand that Cam is 6'4", and so when you see him break away from defensive backs and stuff like that, not only break through the line and hit that juke stick, but not really the juke stick, just kind of sliding through the line and break off those big runs, but get away from those guys that are supposed to be the fastest guys on the defense and the defensive backs. I mean, that shows you the kind of speed that you have, and with the 6'4" frame, that's pretty amazing, because usually you find that in your 5'10" to 6'1" dual threat quarterbacks, if you will, so that's kind of a rare quality. So you were rated, for our viewers that don't know this, Cam was rated a 4-star recruit in the 2025 class by ESPN and 24/7 Sports. ESPN easily had them in their famous top 300 prospects list, and 24/7 Sports had you rated as a 94 overall, 141st best player, and the 6th best athlete in the nation. So you had to have many schools after you. Do you mind sharing with us what your recruitment process was like?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like just like anything I've done, in my athletic career so far, my recruitment process was very unique, and I was actually being recruited at three different positions: quarterback, wide receiver, and safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so that in itself was a process in itself because I'm weighing my options as, should I go to this school and play a whole different position, or should I stay true to what I think I am, or all these different people who are telling me, giving me their opinions. It was tough. I really had
Mm-hmm.
to think about it and to really digest everything. But yeah, I mean, some of the offers I had Houston, I had Utah, I had Texas Tech. Texas Tech was one of my first offers. So, and
Oh wow.
like I said, they recruited me as a safety. So, I obviously had to weigh that option and
Yeah.
really really go back and really think about it because I didn't know if I could really bet on myself as a quarterback, but obviously that's the decision that I made and coming to Arizona State, and
Mm-hmm.
that in itself was also a process because I was actually committed to Arizona State as a receiver, but Coach Dillingham,
Right.
all the offensive coaches knew that I wanted to play quarterback, and that's what I had told them on my visit, and anytime we had reached out and we had communicated, that's what I told him. So about midway through the season, Coach Dillingham came out to see me play, and that's when they reoffered me as a quarterback. And yeah, I mean, I was locked in ever since then.
I appreciate you saying that because, of course, I did a lot of research for this interview, and everything I was hearing was that Arizona State was gonna like put you at wide receiver, and I was pretty saddened by that, just because my dad was always my best friend, and he and I used to scout together, and not just our Artesia guys and whoever Artesia played, but I mean we loved great in-state talent like yourself, and we definitely would watch guys like you and kind of break it down and stuff. And um, my dad unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and he was my best friend. Man, I miss him so much. But I
Yeah, man,
still,
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
well, man, I appreciate that, man.
Yes,
It's
sir.
tough, man.
Yep,
Not,
I hear you.
it's one of those things. That's life is hard, and especially as you get older,
Most
it
definitely.
becomes more difficult, and just one of the things that you have to face. But I still kind of carry that on, kind of in his honor, but kind of because I love it too, and breaking down like your film, man, you just not that you couldn't play wide receiver, but you just seem like you could play quarterback at a very high level. So I knew that the Sun Devils had brought in Hines Ward. That Hines Ward, guys. So the Pittsburgh Steelers great Hines Ward
Yes,
as
sir.
like a receiving coach, right?
Yes, sir.
But so that even more scared me, thinking like, oh man, they're gonna turn Cam into a wide receiver, hiring that dude, Uh, and obviously, I'm sure he would be a great coach, but I'm super pumped that they're gonna leave you at the QB position. I think that is in my you know somewhat educated opinion. I really feel like you're gonna excel at that position, and so I'm excited for you, man.
Yes, sir.
Um,
No, I really appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. So, if you would tell us, how difficult has the adjustment been from high school football to FBS college football?
Yeah, so I mean, for those who don't know, I unfortunately got hurt in my semifinal game in high school. I tore my ACL, some other ligaments in my knee. It was a multi-ligament injury, so that was tough, and I ended up playing on it in the state championship. We ended up losing that game, but I ended up playing on it, making it a little bit worse. And so I had to get surgery for it. And coming out here, I didn't even know any of that until I got an MRI on it for the second time, and that's when they had told me right when I got here. So really, having all that coming into college and just adjusting to being in a new place, seeing different faces every day, different workouts, different operations, just from the way they run things here. It was tough. And I'm still obviously adjusting to things, but
Yeah.
those first few months were rough, and I really just had to lean on my family, lean on my faith. And that was really just a big thing for me, because I didn't, the unknown was very scary and frightening, because I just didn't know what to expect, really. So
Yeah.
the adjustment is hard. We talk about it as a team. We talk about it amongst my freshman class, and it's a hard adjustment, and really just leaning on each other, and just knowing, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. That's really all you can do, because it is hard, and it is a really hard adjustment. And once you go through it, you're obviously just more thankful for it, because you know that you needed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense, man. In my experience, I was blessed enough to have an opportunity to play JUCO baseball out of high school, but I was about 8 hours away from home. And I'll be honest with you, my first 2 to 3 months, at school there was the most difficult time of my life emotionally. And part of that, I think, came from that I was very close to my family. And I think you're very close to your family as well. And that's a part of it. And part of it is you're just in a completely different world. You're so used to waking up every day in the same town, and going to the same junior high or high school, and coming home to the same house, and your parents are there, or your brother's there, whatever. And then all of a sudden all those people are gone, in a sense. And so just getting used to that part for me was a huge hump to get over. And I don't. Now, have you been able to start like practicing again and stuff, or?
Yeah. So I actually started practicing fully with the team since the beginning of fall camp. There's still some stuff that I'm getting back to participating in. But yeah, it's just been a process. It's been a journey. Adjusting to the way practices are, and things like that. But I feel like I'm in a really good spot right now. I feel like I'm ready to just be given the opportunity and ready to take advantage of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I know for me, and maybe you had a similar experience, maybe not, but in high school, I don't want to say it was easy, but other teams, like players, moved at a different pace, like a slower pace, maybe than you take that next step. And I happen to be at a fairly good JUCO. It was, of course, D1 JUCO, and I was on full scholarship or whatever, but they allowed other guys to come out in the fall and try out for the team. And I remember talking to dudes and them sharing their stories with me, and it was like everybody was either like two-time all district, two-time all state. And I started like counting up like all these guys I was talking to, and I thought, man, like all these guys were great at their high school, whatever state they came from. And it, for me, kind of woke me up a little bit. And, maybe I can speak on it a little bit later, but kind of my dad and I kind of made a determination, like my stuff can separate myself from these guys a little bit, but like what's gonna make a huge difference in me and these other guys. And I was fortunate enough to do certain things, and just very blessed to play on a talented team, and became an All-American, out of all that stuff. But so I don't know if is the speed. I mean, can you just tell the difference in speed?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for me, shout out to my high school coach, Coach Back. I feel like the way practice is structured is actually very similar. So in that aspect, I give thanks to Coach Back and just really just his staff and that program, because like I said, the structure is pretty similar. But yeah, the biggest difference for sure is the speed, and the intensity, I would say, is also different.
Right.
Really just a lot of guys. It's grown man football. I mean, a lot of guys have a lot of things that they're dealing with, on and off the field. So, it's a business, and a lot of guys, have something to prove. Everybody has that chip on their shoulder, and if you're not doing your job, then you'll get left behind. And so, everybody has that understanding, and it's everybody's own job to provide for what they need and for what they want, and
sure,
and to do that. So, I would say that's really the biggest difference. Just the speed and the intensity of everything. Everybody walks into the building each day with something to prove, but it's also a brotherhood in that sense as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's huge, man. Those are memories that you'll be able to hold on to for a long time, man. So enjoy that brotherhood, man, because that is truly special. So I kind of mentioned that you were about 6'4", and you could correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you've grown, but like how much do you weigh now?
Yeah, I would say in high school I was about 6'4", but college I'm about 6'3".
Oh, okay. I got you. All right.
But I would say I'm about 6'3", about 217 pounds right now. I came in at 202.
Okay.
So just getting that weight has really helped me out. But that's where I'm at.
I can relate, because in high school, my basketball coach, I was fortunate enough to, we weren't that great, but I started as a sophomore in basketball, and my coach put me as 6'3" in the program when I'm 6'1", and he gave me a couple extra inches, which I don't know if he was trying to instill a little fear or what, but I don't know how that extra 2 inches would do that, at the point guard position. But anyway, so that's cool, man. So obviously you were probably born, with great athletic ability, but what things have you done to turn yourself into one of the most sought after high school quarterbacks in the nation?
Yeah, really, I just try not to even listen to that. I try not to even view it from that standpoint. I really just work as if I'm one of the guys on the bottom, and I don't get comfortable when I'm at the top, because I know once I get comfortable, and once I get just fine with what I'm doing, and fine with my process, and just okay with that, then I know that that's when I'll get knocked off the top. And so I'm constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly developing, and I really just try to be a student of the game, man. I really just try to learn as much as I can from anybody, because you just never know when that situation may present itself to know some of that knowledge. So really, I would say that, and just always working my butt off. I just try to work as hard as I can when I can, because you just never know when your time is over. And
Absolutely.
that's what I
Yeah.
tell myself each day. I wake up, I just give thanks to the Lord for all that He's given me.
Yeah.
Just,
That's
on and
awesome.
off the field. It's great, and I just try to stay true to that, man.
Man, I can't like speak that loud enough to all of our subscribers that are listening, any viewers that are listening, um, that what he said is on point, guys. And I mean, whether you're in junior high and you're playing football, you're playing, basketball, or you're a baseball player, you are in the band, whatever it might be, if you put in uh, extra work, and that was one of the things that I did try to do in high school, and then it followed me in college, and that was one of the secrets, if you will. And I was the first one to practice. I was the last one to leave, and I remember specifically on Friday and Saturday nights, knowing that in college, my competition would most likely be partying, getting hammered, whatever the case might be. So I would intentionally go to our indoor facility and like throw like bullpens. If I could get my catcher to not go party that specific night, or I would go work out, and whether it was like, with the weights or cardio stuff. But I knew at those moments every week, twice a week, that most likely the guys that I would have to face in the spring, um, that they were out most likely partying and probably doing stuff that most college kids do, but maybe you shouldn't be doing, and that I was choosing to get better, and even if it was just a little bit better, and normally it is, each day that you put in extra work, you don't get, this huge difference in how much better you get, but it's the accumulation over time that makes you better. And so, whether you're playing JV and you want to be on varsity, then if you really want that, guys, then work harder than anybody, and learn and listen to those that know what they're talking about, your coaches and others that are smart in whatever you're trying to do, and help that let you grow as a player, as a person, whatever it might be. And you do a little bit of that every day, and then in a few months from then, you're gonna see a huge difference in how good you are at whatever you're trying to do. And so I just couldn't agree more with what you said than that, man. And so everybody listening out there, listen to Cam, because he's on point. So what made you choose Arizona State?
Yeah, I mean, really just the coaches, the place, it speaks for itself. I mean, once you get out here to Tempe, it's beautiful. There's beautiful city life. There's also, some, you go into outskirts a little bit, there's some country to it. So, really just, that's kind of, what I grew up in. And, yeah, I mean, it's really just, like I said, it just speaks for itself. And, the culture that Coach Dillingham is building here, I mean, it's already built. And it's just going to keep on growing. And, I'll never forget the first meeting he said, the first meeting we had, he said, we have the match is burning, right? We have a match that's lit. but how can we sustain this into a fire and build it into a fire that's everlasting? And
That's awesome.
I feel like that's what we're doing, right now this year, and for years to come. So, like I said, I mean, the place speaks for itself, and just the culture here, it's like no other. I've never been a part of a team. I've never been a part of a brotherhood like this, and I really wear that as a badge of honor. And I'm very blessed and very thankful to be here.
That's so cool, man. And I don't want you to respond to what I'm about to say, but I don't want to say that I have like huge pull at New Mexico State, but I have a little bit. And let me just tell you that, okay, if things for some reason, if they didn't work out at Arizona State, I can promise you that we would build a statue of you at the entrance of Aggie Memorial Stadium if you decided to go play for the Aggies, man. So just keep that in the back of your mind, all right? Like way back, all right? And I think your dad would, maybe like that, maybe not love it, but he's a former Aggie, right? So
Yes, sir.
that's awesome, man. So we'll kind of wind up last few questions, but Cam, do you have any advice for young football players out there?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about it, as you were kind of talking about, kind of reflecting on what I was saying, and one of the things that came to mind is also like what my dad has told me ever since I was younger, and that's just keep working hard and good things will happen. And it's such a, a basic, such a cliche statement, but it's just the truth. I mean, in whatever you do, as long as you're working hard and you're staying true to that, and you're not doing things to jeopardize that, then, I feel like you're in a really good position just based off of that. And it doesn't matter, what size you are, who you come or where you're from, who you are as a person. If you stay true to yourself and you just keep working hard, then good things will happen. I just try to live by that, really, man. I just try to put my faith in the center, and then, really everything just circles around that.
That's powerful, man. I appreciate that, and I know a lot of our viewers will as well. And I guess I'll end on this, but can you share a little bit about your faith?
Yeah. I grew up in the church. My parents, my siblings, my grandparents. We all went to church on Sundays, and it's kind of hard and it's kind of tough because we live such a crazy schedule that we always feel like I don't know if I have time for God, and I don't know if I'll be able to have time for this and that. But one of the things that I had to really get better at since coming out here is just making time, because there always is time for that, and that's that's the most important thing in my life, and I just try to stay true to that, man. And nobody's perfect, and nobody should expect you to be perfect, because that's just not reality. But as long as you're just staying true to that, and some people may disagree, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree, but I just feel like as long as I stay true to my faith, then I'm in really good hands. So I just really try to stay true to that, and I just try to read my Bible, stay close to God as much as possible, really.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear. And this channel from day one, I've been very open. Now, when I was playing sports and stuff, I was I didn't talk about my faith a lot. I tried to live my faith out, and over time, and especially because the Lord allowed me to be successful in sports, people wanted to know more about me, and what made me tick, and why does he do the things he does, or whatever. And some of the greatest compliments, that like maybe not myself, but people had told my mom later on in life or whatever, were, your son was always nice to everybody, no matter who they were, or those kind of things can make a difference in people's lives. And even I remember a teammate in college, and I just it makes me kind of tear up a little bit, man. But he told me, man, like he didn't know maybe the correct words to say, but he said you're the first religious person. So he used the term religious, that hasn't tried to preach to me, and that meant so much to me, man, because but he still wanted like what I had, and wanted to know more about my relationship with the Lord, and those things. And you have an amazing ability and power, and people already, throughout your high school years, junior high years, I'm sure they wanted to know, what Cam Dyer, was all about. And you probably have no idea the amount of lives that you've positively affected. And for those that are, out there listening, man, you don't have to be an athlete. You may be that person that walks the halls and that nobody says hi to, but please know this, that God made you for a purpose, and that is a great purpose. And you may not have found that purpose yet, but just know that you're not alone, and that you were perfectly designed, and that you were made. And maybe it's not athletics. That's cool, man. If it's something else, then be great at that, and we all love college football and all that stuff, and that's why a lot of you guys are here. But not everybody gets that opportunity, and just know that's okay, man. It is so important for you guys to know that purpose is out there for you, and for you to discover that. And my hope is that it is in a relationship with God. But with that being said, everybody, like Cam said, everybody has to make their own decisions. And we're not here to preach, but just to give you an option, and to say that relationship makes our lives so much better. And we believe that it would do the same for you. And I'm just so grateful for you sharing that, Cam. Thank you. I know that was from the heart, man. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know that you're in the heart of football season, and for you taking the time to be on here with us. I am truly grateful to you, man. So thank you so much.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you for having me, and yeah, man. I'm really thankful. I thank you a lot, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. It's my pleasure, man. And you guys don't forget to root for the Sun Devils of Arizona State if you see them on TV. Maybe watch it for a little bit longer than you normally would, and know that be on the lookout for Cameron Dyer. He'll be playing most likely quarterback for the Sun Devils very soon. So Anyway, it is a pleasure to have had you on the show, and we hope to have you back, man.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully soon. But thanks again, and we hope to talk to you soon, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Force up, baby. Go Devils.